Hello, my nymphs. My name is Michelle. Welcome back to Yggdrasil, and today I am going to be talking about someone, not me. Nobody's living in my attic to my knowledge. But I am going to be talking about someone on Reddit who allegedly actually did have someone living in their attic. I know that there is a video going online of someone who allegedly lived in someone's attic, and things like this do actually happen, and it's really kind of scary to think about. There is a Reddit iceberg that consists of disturbing Reddit posts And I am going to be reading from Tier 3, but the very last in Tier 3. And it might scare you. When I was younger, I was so scared of stuff like this because, like, I don't know, I had a little bit more paranoia maybe when I was younger. Weird, but the person we're talking about in today's story literally struggles with some sort of delusional disorder in which they hear things and see things that aren't there, so it makes the story even more confusing for them living in the situation. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky. Comment down below what you think about the situation. Do you think that the video of someone climbing down from someone's cabinet and peeing in their sink is real? I mean, I don't know. It's never been proven. I don't think it's been debunked. I mean, pretty well could have. Thank you so much to my members. Make sure to consider becoming a member if you would like to. It starts at 99 cents. And thank you so much for watching this video as always, and enjoy the video. I guess I just kind of came to the realization of how unlikely it is for someone to crawl into your house and live in it, or just to break into your house during the nighttime. And so my brain, like, I don't even care about that stuff anymore because I'm too busy like worrying about my life, which I guess I realized that there's bigger things to be afraid of in life. If that helps anyone who is extremely disturbed by this, because I'm inclined to not believe people on Reddit if the story is so extravagant like this. But then you have to realize that a lot of these Reddit stories have been actually directly connected to crimes. These things do actually happen, so why wouldn't people be actively posting their story to Reddit? Someone posted on the Reddit Bureau of Investigation, "Were people living in my attic? I am a throwaway account and this is for my safety. You'll find out why soon." To start off, I'd like to say I'm not a believer of the paranormal, which could be applied to some details if you are an avid believer. Some disclaimers are: my area is pretty dangerous. A lot of gangs and stuff live here, and a lot of crime happens. My garden is surrounded by fences. The back one leads to a main road, and I suffer with audible and visual hallucinations. First off, I want to pick it apart and say, why didn't you say from what, like, where are these hallucinations coming from? Is that person's own privacy, or is it lacking the validity of the story? I have been living with my dad for around 3 years now, and I have a pretty intense mental health issues, so I don't know if I'm being delusional and or detaching from reality. My house is relatively outdated. We have heating that is controlled by a big flame in the center of the house that transports heat through vents, and the majority of the house is made from wood. The floors, the stairs, which are extremely loud and creak a lot when you walk up and down them. We have 3 rooms upstairs, all connected by one hallway. In the middle of that hallway, the entrance to the attic on the ceiling. My father's door is directly across from mine, and the bathroom door is opposite from the stairs banister, or railing, or whatever you want to call it, and between both of our rooms. Remember that. It all started out with me hearing noises rustling around in the attic, but I figured it was a bird that got stuck in there. It had happened before, and a majority of the noises were in the morning, after I wake up and before I go to sleep. Normal times are around 7 to 9 a.m. and 10 to 11 p.m. I asked my father, and he thought the same, so I shrugged it off. Around 2 to 3 months go by. The noises are becoming more consistent and common. But again, I shrugged it off and drowned it out with music or YouTube videos whilst on my computer, which I would say is something that is like weird about the story. But if you do suffer from hallucinations of any sort, it's so normal to you that you will just try to drown it out with YouTube or music or something because that's your normal. Especially with the reassurance of family members, because it's like you don't know what's normal, but like when your family member is reassuring you that it is or isn't happening, then you're able to actually know. I wouldn't let my paranoia get to me until one night I had awoken around 3 a.m. and I could have sworn that I heard footsteps above me. I hadn't heard of anything for a couple of weeks after that, and I'm not sure why. The morning and nightly noises were still persistent, however. We went out one day, my father and the dogs. I had left my PC on. My door was slightly open and the bathroom door was closed. I leave my door open in a habit so my dogs can roam around the house when we are home. However, they do their bathroom in the bathroom, so we close the door whilst we are home because I don't want them doing that. We were out for 3 or 4 hours and went for a nice walk. When we got back, I headed back upstairs into my room and the events are in order. I saw that my door was closed. Must have been a draft. Just before I go in my room, my father shouted up the stairs to me. He had complained that I'd left milk and a packet of meat out of the fridge. I told him that it wasn't me. My father was a very logical man. He thinks there's always a logical explanation to everything, so he was confused, but he said that he must have done it himself because I was sure that I didn't take anything out of the fridge. Before going into my room after the conversation with my father, I had saw the bathroom light was on and the door was wide open. I went and searched the bathroom, but I couldn't find anything that could necessarily be of suspicion. As I walked out of the bathroom, remembering that the banister is facing you when you leave the bathroom, I had seen some paint chipped away from the banister, something that I had not noticed before. All of this could be explained as a coincidence, or maybe I did just close my door, open the bathroom door, leave the lights on, never noticed the paint chipped away on the wood banisters. Maybe my dad did get some stuff out of the fridge and forgot to put it all away. And that's how I thought at that moment. I did not want to believe that there was someone else living in our house. But when I entered my room, I sat down at my computer and noticed that the YouTube video I was watching was no longer there. And some European food website, which was in English, however, no idea. Other than that my computer had no evidence of being tampered with. It was just that the food website was opened. Could it have been a pop-up? And he actually inserts the link. Things just escalated from there. Me and my father kept hearing weird noises in the night and even during the day. Bangs, thuds, etc. What the hell is he doing up there? My father goes to work 5 days a week. He leaves at 5 a.m. and gets home around 7 p.m. I don't know. And I am home to hear everything. A lot of the times when I'm home, I hear these noises and my dogs do too, so I know I'm not hallucinating. My dogs started sniffing and peeing around areas underneath the attic latch. I have no idea why. My dogs are 3 to 4 years old at this point, both of them, and they've never really peed in a place that they haven't before, if that makes any sense. One Christmas, my dad had gone on holiday, leaving me on my own in the house for a few weeks. Probably the scariest time of my life. I'm an adult. I should be able to defend myself, right? Well, I was fine for the first few days. It was lovely to have time alone. I cooked a lot, I spent a lot of time with the dogs, and even made them some nice food too. I had somewhat stockpiled food into my food and freezer to last me for a few weeks. meaning I didn't really have to cook much. I just had to go to the microwave and defrost a day before. After I cooked everything, one day had gone by. I noticed small things missing from the refrigerator every day after waking up. I had these snack/bite-sized cheese wheels that I hadn't opened, but they were open. Some of the food I made had gone missing, and I was running out of milk a lot faster than I could have imagined. This persisted for around 3 days before I called a friend to come and stay downstairs. I explained the situation to him, and he was much more than happy to stay on the couch for a few days to somewhat protect me. He's not scared of much, and he's very strong, so he could probably fight himself if he needed to. The very first night was here. We did a test. We acted as if we were leaving the house and gently slammed the front door to prompt whatever was in the attic to come down and have free reign in the house whilst we were, quote, out. We practically tiptoed back into the center of the living room and sat in the silence for about 10 minutes, whispering at most. We hear weird noises, extremely close to the latch of the attic, almost like a scratching noise to get nails under the latch to open it up or something. I have no idea. As my friend heard it, he stamped his foot to the ground to intimidate, assuming that there was somebody up there. Not to mention my dogs started growling at that point too. I knew I wasn't just hearing things, and there was another person for proof. At that point, I was extremely terrified, and my friend, which was surprising, was also scared too. He said that he wouldn't sleep at night if he heard the noises, and he'd just stay up all night with me if need be. I quickly responded to him saying something along the lines of, "Fuck no, bro, we're leaving. I'm going to pack my bags, bring the dogs, and we're going to your house." He agreed, and we left for the night. And I came back the following afternoon with him to see if anything in the house had changed. There were dishes in the sink that had been used and not washed. Food missing from the fridge. I had switched off all of the electronics from the mains before I had left. PC, chargers, lamps, etc. I was sure someone was living in my house somewhere. My PC was on, but luckily I had a passcode on it so they couldn't get in. When I recognized that all of that had happened, I called the police. They came over and searched all over my house. They didn't go in the attic. They just opened up the latch and spoke into the attic. No reply. They had no explanation for the food going missing and the computer being on, but they couldn't help apparently. I got clean clothes, repacked, and I left. This time, my friend dropped me off at my mother's, and I had to stay there for a few days with my dogs. My thing about that is like, why didn't the police go in the attic? It's very confusing for me and makes this story less believable. But even if this specific story wasn't real, this kind of stuff does happen a lot more often than one might think. I do believe him when he says that the police said that they couldn't do anything because, like, I guess he does have a history of hallucinations, obviously, but it's also like, so you didn't explain to the police officers that you heard someone trying to use their fingernails to get out of the attic? Like, you're not going to explain that to them? Because if that's the case, they would have gone up in the attic and looked around, but instead they just called up, which obviously, why would someone say, "Hey, I am living in here, you caught me"? Like, they would obviously want to hide. Upon returning, one of my neighbors had caught me just as I was entering the house. They knew my father was away. They had said, "We saw 2 people climbing over your garden fence whilst you were gone," meaning they had jumped over onto the main road and made a run for it. It wasn't unusual for weird stuff to happen in my town, but this was way too weird. Most of the time, they hop over the garden into the garden if they were being chased by the police. Anyways, I went into the house as I left it, how it was when I left. Nothing had changed. No food was missing, nothing was gone, and the same dirty dishes that were in the sink were still there. And that's the last I have heard of those noises. It's been almost 1 year since I have heard anything or anything strange had happened. Everything is normal. But knowing that people have and could have been living in my attic mere meters away from me is terrifying. Please let me know what you think, because to this day I am still terrified and confused, and I lack the feeling of being safe. What would you have done? Edit. I don't care whether or not you believe it, that is your choice. So let me know what you guys think about this story. It seems like this guy is kind of like pulling a Ted Bundy, as in like, I didn't do it, like, I don't care if you don't believe me or not because I didn't make this up. So let me know what you guys think about the situation, any other topics you'd like me to talk about next. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky. Make sure to become a member if you would like to. It starts at 99 cents. You get early access to my videos, you get a special community tab, and many more perks. Thank you so much for watching this video as always, and goodbye.